In this video, I'll be showing you how you can create this Nike website from scratch, and by the end of this video you'll be able to create something similar to this. And in the description I'll be providing the assets folder for all the images I've used for this website, and also any other changes that you're supposed to make while creating this project. And also we'll be using React for this. You can use Next.js, or you can use your own web, provided you get the result right. So in here you can see I have this logo here, and also I have the navigation bar, of which if I click anything you can see that it's scrolling down, which makes it good. And then I have this, can we call it image switcher? If I click this, it changes the image there, and also this one, and also this one. And we have these buttons, and as I continue to scroll you can see I have the popular product section, and we have these beautiful cards for the images. And then we have this about section, discover premium footwear. And then if I continue scrolling down you can see we have this, what can we call this, our services: quick delivery, payment security, dedicated support. And then you also have this deals, special offer that is. And then we have the customer reviews, and then we have the newsletter, and also we have the footer. So by the end of this project you'll be able to create something similar. And one thing about this project is that it's fully responsive. Let's first test this navigation bar. You can add the sign in here, but this is a front-end application, so ours doesn't have that. And if I come to the mobile devices you can see that it's fully responsive, and you can see this image switcher is also working. We have this beautiful website. So by the end of this video I'll be showing you how you can create this, and make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and we are going to start by creating our project using Vite and React. The first step for creating our project is we are going to use Tailwind CSS for styling. So what you are going to do is you are going to open tailwindcss.com, and because we'll be using Vite and React, we can install all of them directly from the Tailwind CSS website. So you're going to hit get started, and then you're going to come here. If you use this procedure for installing Tailwind CSS, it might not work. You're supposed to come here and select framework guides, and then you're going to select Vite. And then now we can start creating our project using this step. So I'm going to copy this, or we can just copy this because you want to actually name our website something else. So you're going to open where you want to save your project. For me, I'm going to save it on my desktop, so I'm going to open it in my terminal, and then I'm going to come here and paste it like that. It's going to ask me to name my project. We are going to name it as, let's say, Nike clone, like that. And then we'll be using React. We're going to use JavaScript, and then you're going to cd into Nike clone, and then you want to install all the packages for it like that. So you're going to wait for all the packages to install. It may take some time, so let it install. I'll be back. Once everything has finished installing, you're not going to run the application first. What you're going to do is you're going to come back to the Tailwind CSS website, and then you're going to copy these two so that we can install our Tailwind. So I'm going to paste it here. After running the first command, you're going to run the second command, and then can come back here, and as you can see here you have the configure your template paths. So we're going to open our project and then implement this. So you're going to hit code dot to open this in your VS Code, and now we can close this. Before running the application, you can see that we have our project here. We have the assets, we have the app and everything. So what you're going to do is you're going to come to the description below I'll be posting the link to the assets. So what you're going to do is, let me find mine first. Don't know where I placed it. This is the link. So you're going to download these assets as they are, and then you're going to paste them wherever you're going to download them wherever you want. And then then once downloading the assets, you're going to come to where you have downloaded them, and then I think you know the process. You're going to copy it and then come to where you have created your project, and then where is mine? I think it's Nike clone. And then you're going to come to the source folder, then you're going to paste it here. Just going to replace the file in the destination like that. And if we come back to our VS Code, you'll notice that we have this. We have now a new assets folder with the images. So if I scroll down, you can see I have an index.js here, and inside this index.js is where I have exported all the images I'll be using for the website. And then we are supposed to run our application to see if it works. So you're going to npm run dev it to see if it works. Let's see. I might change the terminal. Npm run dev. So as you can see here, my app is running. So you're going to open it. Let's open it. And one thing, let's see. One thing you're also going to copy to your project is you can see that we have successfully created our app. So what you're going to do is you will also have to copy this CSS from my GitHub and then come and paste it in the index.css. Control A, Control V, and we're also going to delete the app.css because we don't need it. And then if I come back here, you can see that it changed, right? And then something else you're going to do is you are going to come to the index.html, and then here you'll notice that I have this favicon, but I forgot to put it in the assets folder. So while we'll be creating this, we'll just stick to this with favicon there, but we are supposed to change the title to something like Nike clone, like that, and we have that name there. So let's start by creating our, after changing that title, something else you're going to do is we have this index.css, right? Here we are importing fonts first, and then the fonts are Palanquin, and then we have Montserrat, and then we have this view styling for the CSS. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to come to the description below, because that's where I'll be posting these things. And then inside the code, you are going to copy this tailwind.config, and then you're going to paste it here. In this tailwind.config, you have added some font sizes, and then you have extended to use this fonts, but you can use your own fonts. We have these colors, then you have the box shadow, you have the background images, but we won't be using these background images. And then that's it. Come back to the application, and then you have app.css. We don't have app.css, so you're going to remove it. You're not using app.css. So let's come back here, and then if you want to know what these colors do here, the coral blue is this our main blue color for the website, this one, and then I don't think we'll be using the rest. Let's just stick with that. So we're going to start by creating the footer, the header, sorry, and then we're going to create the footer, and then we can start creating our hero page, or we can start by creating any page. After setting up our project, we are going to start here, so we can just like remove everything here, and then we can do function and then up, and then inside here we want to, or we can just do, let's do this instead. Can do SFC, and then you can do up like that, and then inside here you want to return a div that says something like, or a p tag that says hello. I think I should increase this. Yeah, that's better. So you can say hello. Oh, sorry. That looks better. So you can say hello there. Then if I come back here, then I refresh, we have this hello text here. I'll also increase this like that. So what you're going to do here is, after, let me increase it. I think that's better. So what I'm using to, the extensions I'm using is React. You are going to look for React ES7 plus React, this one. You're going to install this one, and also you're going to install simple React snippets, and then I don't think there is anything else. And then you're also going to install Tailwind IntelliSense. I think it's Tailwind CSS IntelliSense, here it is. And then you're also going to install, what else? Auto close tag, and then auto rename tag. Yeah, only those. Then I can come back here, and in our application we are going to have a, I'm going to change this to, a main, which this main will have a relative class like that. Yeah, that's better. And I think I deleted the closing tags. Let me remove this here, and then we can do main.relative like that. And then inside this main is where we want to put all our components. We are not going to create pages, but you're going to create components. So we are not going to use the, what is it called, React router. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a navbar here. So we're going to have a navbar, and what I should do is I'm going to put this side by side, my VS Code and my website, like that. Actually, let me see, like that. So here we are going to have a navbar first, and then the next thing we are going to have here is a section, and this section is going to have a padding bottom. And I showed you where these classes are coming from earlier in my CSS, right? So we're going to also add a class which says in Excel, in extra large devices, we want this to have a padding of left, and then we also want to have wide padding of right, like that. And then let me come back in my CSS, and let's see. I actually have those classes here. I have the padding L, I have the padding B, which gives the padding bottom 24 and padding bottom of 12, like that. So inside here we want to have a hero section, so we're just going to do hero like that. And then actually it's supposed to be giving us errors because we don't have these pages yet. And then below here we are going to have another section below this section inside the main tag. This section is going to be section, and then it's going to have a class name of padding. And then inside here is where we're going to have our popular products. So it's going to be popular products, like that. And then I'm going to copy this for how many times? 1, 2, and then 3. And then here I want this to be services, and then here I want this to be, it can be, let's say, special offer, like that. And then I'm also going to paste it 3 times, I'm going to paste it for the review section, and then I'm going to do it for the, what is it called, the subscribe, and then the footer. So in this popular product, we have said is going to be customer reviews, so it's going to be customer reviews like that, and then below here is going to be the subscribe to our newsletter, or newsletter in short, like that, and then below here is going to be the footer, actually the footer. And then we are going to change these tile links for these pages, because we want some spacing. For the footer, we're going to have padding X from left to right, and then we are also going to have padding top, and then we are also going to have a padding bottom of 8, and then we want the background to be black, like that. Then you can see the IntelliSense is working. So if I hover here, you can see you're giving it a background color of black. Yeah. And then for this subscribe one, we are going to have padding X also. So it's going to be padding X. And then we're also going to have in small devices, but let me first remove this. It's going to be padding X, and then in small devices, we want it to be padding X of, not like padding X, but padding Y of 32. And then we want to have a general padding of padding 16, and then we want to have a width of full, like that. And then in the customer reviews, we want to have a BG, a background color of pale, let's say blue. Yeah. And then we want to have a padding also, padding. And then in the special offer, we can leave it like that. And in the services section, we want to have padding X, and then we want to have a padding Y of 10, like that. And then in the, I think I missed something between the popular products and the special and the services. We are supposed to have something in between here, which was the super quality products, or what was it? Let's see. It was, we have the hero section, you have the popular products, and then you have the discover premium footwear, then you have the services exclusive. Yeah. So we're going to do here, it's here, we're going to do, I've forgotten, we can say quality, like that. And then for this is going to remain padding. And then for the services, we have the special offer, which is exclusive deals. We can name them as how I've named them in my website. So it's going to be deals. We can just say deals, like that. And then what else? Nothing else. Let me check. You have the deal section, then you have the review section, then premium footwear, quality. Yeah. So what you're going to do next is you want to create these components, because we don't actually have those components. So you're going to come to your project folder, and then here in the source folder, you're going to create a components folder, like that. And then inside here, actually it's, you're not going to create this components folder. We're going to add things like button and all the cards, but for our pages, we're going to add a pages folder. So you can do pages, like that. And then you're going to start with the navbar. So you're going to create a navbar dot tsx, and then you can do sfc, like that. And then you can say this is a navbar, or you'll just do, let's see, array fce. If you don't have the ES7 installed, that won't work. So you can come here and do control and then space. Let me see, but let's first create all the pages. So we can do the hero dot jsx. Am I using jsx? Yeah, rafce. I'm supposed to change this to jsx. I don't know why I've put tsx. It's going to be jsx. not that one, this one. It's going to be navbar.jsx, like that. And then we have the hero created. So what you are going to create next is the popular products. So let me come and create it here. It's going to be popular products.jsx, like that, and then rafce. And then we can create the next one, which is quality. So let's copy and then come to the pages and create it .jsx, then rafce, then come to the services, then let's create a page for it, like that, and then .jsx, then rafce, then you're remaining with the deals, .jsx, and then rafce, and then we have the customer reviews. These pages are many, so we're going to add it here .jsx, then rafce, and then let's come here and add subscribe and the footer. So let's do this, rafce, and then now finally the footer, Control C, the footer, and then .jsx, rafce. So if I, after creating all the pages, and then I come here and then I do the control and then space, you can see that I'm not getting the suggestions for the pages. So what we are going to do here is we are going to actually export everything from this pages section. So we are going to come and create a new index.js, and then here what you are going to do is you are going to import first the hero from link it hero, and then you're going to import, you're going to do this for all the pages. So I have exported everything. I have imported and exported all the pages that you have created. So if I come back to my app.jsx and I start importing the pages, you can see that now I am able to import them. So you're going to do this for all the pages, like that, like that, like that. Actually, I was supposed to create the nav bar and the footer as components, but there's no problem. And now you can see in my browser we have the layout for our website. So here we have the customer reviews, the deals, but here I said the customer reviews to have a BG of pale blue, sorry, and it's supposed to have a padding BG pale blue. Let me do this, BG black. Yeah, that one is working as well. So we can do BG blue 200 so that we can actually see it. Yeah, now we can see it. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to start with our navbar, creating our navbar. So I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to close this, then I'm going to come to my navbar, and then here, so here is where we are going to create our nav bar. So I'm going to remove this first, and actually we don't need this import react from react. Actually you don't need that. So the first thing to do here is, if the assets you downloaded earlier, we have these images and we have this logo. We have the logo for the footer and the logo for the header, the navbar, that is. So what you're going to do first is to import the header logo. So here it is. We are going to use this header logo, and then now we can start creating our header. So we're going to do header, and this header is going to have a padding x like that, and then we're going to have a padding y of 8, and then we're going to have a z index of 10 because we want this to be z index of 10, and then absolute, and then we want to have a width of full, like that. So you can see our header is on top of everything. That's what the Z10 does. So inside this header we want to have a nav, and this nav is going to be flex, and then like that, and then we are going to be justify between to separate the logo and the links, and then you want to have item center, and then you want to have a maximum width of screen, like that, screen extra large, and then you also want to have a margin X of auto. Inside here we are going to have an anchor tag, and this anchor tag is going to have our logo. It's going to direct us to the home page, and inside here we can do an img, and the source is going to be the header logo, like that, and then the alt is going to be logo, and then you can have a class name because you can see that it's too big, width of let's say 32, and then you want to have a height of auto, like that. So you can see we have our logo here, and then here we are going to have our links. So below here we want to have a div. Actually I'm not going to create this, but we can create it anyway. So below here we are going to have a div which is going to have a class name of hidden. So it's going to be .lg. We want it to be hidden. We want to add the menu icon, that is, and then inside here we are going to have this icon which I downloaded somewhere. So it's going to be this hamburger icon, and inside here let's do an img. The source is going to be the hamburger icon, like that, and then the alt is going to be, let's say, menu, and then we want to do a class name of width of 6, and then a height of 6, like that, and then you want to do cursor pointer, and then we are going to add an on-click function here such that it opens our links in mobile devices. So it's going to be an on-click of toggle menu, like that, but it's going to complain because we haven't described this, we haven't declared this on-click function. So we're going to come here, and we want to know if the menu is open. So we're going to say const, and then we're going to say menu open, and then we want to set menu open, like that, and it's going to use state. Make sure you import use state from React, and then it's going to be, the use state is going to be false. And then now we want to create the function, so it's going to be const, and then the function is toggle menu, and then you want it to be a function obvious, and then an arrow function here. We want it to be to set the menu open, and then that one, and then menu open, like that. So now we can go ahead and create the links section, but you can see here in my browser I have this icon here. You can make it to fit what you want, that is. So below this div here, we want to create a div for our links. So this div is going to be to have a lg of hidden, like that, and then you want it to be absolute, and then you want it to have a top of 16, and then you want it to have a z of 10, and then right of 0, and then margin top of 2, then padding of 4. We want it to have a border, and then we want to have a border gray of, the border is going to be border gray, we can say 300, like that, and then we want a shadow shadow like that. And then you want to, this is this box you're seeing here. You see this box here, you have a box here which is going to show the menu icons, and if I maximize, you can see that it's not there anymore. So actually I'm supposed to first remove this, and then I'm supposed to supposed to paste it there, and then here we want to now describe what we want. So let's do this. Here we want to check if the menu is open. If it is, we want to have a BG of white, is it white? Yeah, and we want it to be block like that. If it ain't, we want it to be just hidden, nothing else, like that. And then I think we're done with that. So if I click, you can see we have this box here, and if I click, you can see it's hidden. If I click again, it appears like that. So now we can create the links. So I'm going to do an ordered list, and this ordered list is going to be space of x of, not x but y of 4, like that. And then inside here I want to map this nav links, so it's going to be nav links, and then dot map. But first, before we do this, you're wondering where I'm getting this nav link. So if I come to my GitHub, and then first I'm going to come here, let me close this, let me close all of them, and then inside the source folder we are going to create a folder where we want to do the constants. Then we want to add the index.js. The constants are the things that won't change over and over again in our code, which are, let's say, the links, also the footer details. So inside here you can see have a constant and then index.js. So I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it here, and then I'm going to collapse that. If I scroll up, you can see we have the nav links here, which are home, about us, products, and then contact us, like that. So let me come back here, let me close this. Make sure you add all this, and the images, all these images are in the assets folder, so don't worry, just copy it and paste it. These text, you can change them to anything you want. So let's come back here and let's map our nav links, but first we're supposed to import our nav links, right? So let's say import, and then nav links. I'm importing them from the constants and then index, like that. So if I scroll down, we want to map them, and inside here we want to map item, and then like that. So inside here we want to have an li, and then the li is going to have a key, and the key is going to be the item dot label, and then inside here is going to have an a tag, and this a tag is going to have a ref, which this ref is going to be item dot ref, that is. And then you want to have a class name, obvious. So the class name is going to, we want it to be text lg, and then you want the text to be gray 700, like that. And then you want the font to be semi bold, and then you want the hover effect, and this hover is going to be text blue 600, like that. And inside this a tag is where we want to do item dot label, like that. Shift Alt F to format. Then if I click here, it's supposed to appear. You can see now we have these links, but if I extend it, you can see they're not appearing. So you're supposed to make them appear on large screen devices. So below here, below this div, we want to do, let me see which div, actually this div, yeah, below this div we want to create another div here, and this div is going to have a hidden class. Then in large devices we want it to be block, like that. And then inside here you want to have a UL, and it's going to be flex, like that. And then here you want to have a space of x of 8, and then now we are going to map our nav links. So it's navlinks.map, and then item, actually it's the same thing up here. I'm just going to copy these nav links, then you're going to paste them here, like that. Shift Alt F. Then let me expand this. You can see now we have the home, we have the about, you have the product, you have the contact and everything. So if I hit contact, it's supposed to take us to contact, about, home, like that. So we have finished creating our nav bar. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to create the footer, and then now we can start creating the hero section and the other pages. Now we are going to create our footer. So we can close this nav bar, and then we can come to our footer. And in this footer we are going to use we're going to need a copyright logo for the footer, and also some footer links. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to paste this from the going to get the copyright sign, the footer logo, and the footer links, and the social media. So let me remove this and then add this down here. And then now we want to do a footer, and this footer is going to have a class of max container. And if I open my CSS, where is my CSS? Here it is. You can see we have a max container which just gives a max width of 1440 and then a margin of 0 and auto. That's the max container. Then below here we want to do a div of class name flex and a justify between item center. So it's going to be justify between and then items center, and then we want to do item start, not like center but item start, sorry, start. And then we want to do a gap of 20, and then you want to do a flex wrap, and then we want to do in large devices we want to do a flex column maximum, no, like in medium devices. Let me see. Yeah, so we want to do that, and then inside this div we are going to, let's scroll down to the footer, there it is. And then we are going to do another div, a flex div, and here we want to do flex column, and then items start. Inside here is where we are going to add our logo. So it's going to be an a tag link to the home page, and then we want to do an img here. This img is going to have a source of the footer logo, and then we want to give it an alt of logo, and then we want to do width of 150, a width of 150, and then we want to do a height of 46, and then we want to do a class name. We want to do a class name of margin of 0. So let's scroll down, and as you can see here we have our logo there, and if I click it, it's taking us to the home page. So the next thing we're going to add here is let me come to the actual website. We have these details in the footer, this get shoes ready for new term at your nearest Nike store. So let's do this. Below here we are going to do a p tag, and then let's give it a, let me do this p tag, and then this class name is going to be margin top of 6, and then we want to do a text base, and then a leading of, we can do 8, and then we want to do font. We want to use this font we installed earlier, and then you want to do text white. You can use any font, you can use Satoshi, you can use Inter, any of those. And then we want to do text white, and then we want to do in small, maximum width to be small, like that. Then now inside here we are going to put this text. So let me copy it, then let me paste it here, but this was not supposed to be a div but a p tag, like that. So let me come here and let's see if we have that text. Yeah, we have that text there. And then now below the p tag is where we're going to map our footer links, and the footer links we're getting them from the constants. That you remember the constants earlier. So inside this div, is it inside this div? Yeah, below here we're not mapping the links, we are first going to map the icons for the social media. So below here we want to do a flex, and then items to be center, then we want to do gap of 5, and then a margin top to separate it from the text of, we can do 8. And then inside here we want to map the social media, we want to do dot map, and then inside here we can do icon, and then it's going to be a function like that. Then inside here we want to do a div, and this div is going to have a class name of flex. So I'll do this, a flex, and then the flex is going to be justify not between but center, and then we want to have item center, and then we also want to do the width of 12, then height of 12, then bg of whites, not a background of whites, and then we want to do rounded full because it will be a circle for the icons, so it's rounded full. Let me scroll down, you can see we have the circles there. And then below here we are going to we're supposed to add a key here, so it's going to be key, going to be icon. And then inside here now we are going to add the img, so it's going to be img, and the source is going to be icon source, so it's going to be icon.src. all these are coming from the constants. So here I'm going to do icon.alt, and then what else? You can do a width of 24, and also a height of 24, like that. So you can see here we now have our links. So if I maximize this, you can see we have our links there. So let's come back, and you can make these links responsive by making this an a tag, and then add the link to your accounts. So below two divs down, so let's collapse this. So two divs down, you want to map our link, so we're going to add a flex, and then flex 1, then you want to do justify between, and then we want to do a large of gap 10, and then a general gap of 20, and then we want to do flex wrap, like that. And then now inside here we want to map our links, so it's going to be footer links.map, and then we want to map section, and then function, and then we want to add a div here, and then this div is going to have a key of section.title. And I created a video on how you can create a footer, you can go and watch that, but they are just something similar, so let's just stick with this one. So this div is not going to have a class name, so let me remove this, and then inside this div we can do a h4, and this h4 is going to have a class name of text to excel, like that. Then we want to add a font here, so let's use this, and then we want to do leading of normal. You can see what this leading does, it gives a line height to a text. And then we want to do font medium, and then we want to do margin bottom of 6, and then let's say text white, like that. And then now inside here we're going to map our section dot title like that. And now we can see that you have the product, you have the help, and then you have the get in touch. You can make this. Let's do this. Let's see how it will look like if you underline. That's better, right? And then now below this h4 we want to do ordered list, and then we're going now to map the section dot links dot map, and then want to map link, then function. Let's see. And then inside here I want to do an li, and these links are going to have a class name of margin top. So let's do a li dot margin top of 3, and then we want to use this font, the same font you've been using, and then we want to do text base, also do a leading of normal, and then you want to do text white like that. And then you also want to do a hover. So when you hover, you want this to be text gray. Let's say text gray. Let's see which one. Let's see, this one is better. And then now inside this li we want to add an a tag. Then this a tag is going to have a ref of link dot ref, and then we can now put link dot name here, link dot name like that. If I scroll down, you can see now you have the links here. We have the a tags, but I don't know why they are not. The cursor ain't pointer, but you can change that on your own. So below this one, and then not that one, but this one, and then 2 divs down, you want to add another section which is going to be flex. And then here you want to do justify between, and then here you can do text white like that. And then you can do margin top of 24, and then you can do max small to flex column, and then you can do max small to do item center, and then inside here shift alt F, and then inside here we want to add a div of class name flex, also class name of flex, and then flex one, and then justify start item center gap of 2, and then font, we're going to use the other font, the same font, sorry. Then we want to do cursor pointer, which we should have also done for these links. Let's see, supposed to do cursor pointer. So let's see, now you can see cursor pointer. And then inside here let's add a image. This image source is going to be copyright sign, and then the alt is going to be copyright, and then we can do a width of 20, and then we can do a height of 20, and then let's scroll down. You can see we have this copyright, but instead of adding this copyright sign, you can do this, you can do at copy, and then like this. I think so. You can see now we have another copyright sign, so you can use this instead of using that img, but now we are going to stick with the img. So let's add a text below the img, which is going to be, let's add it here. So copyright rights reserved, and then my name there, I can space it here. And then now below this div, I want to add another p tag. You want to do a p tag, and this p tag is going to be font let me first do the p tag. Then you can do class name of font Grace font Montserrat, and then you want to do cursor pointer, and then inside here you want to do terms and conditions, and do terms and conditions, and then we add the copyright sign, copy, and then we do 2023. So you can see we have the terms and conditions here. So if I extend this, you can see now we have our footer there, and we have created our navbar. So what is remaining is to create the popular products, quality services, deals, and also our hero page here. So in the next step, we are going to create our hero section. After creating our footer, we are going to create the hero section, and the hero section looks like this. So we are going to come back to our project, and then first, before we create the hero section, you can see we have buttons, and if you look carefully, you can see that all the buttons look the same but with different labels or titles on the buttons. So we are first going to create the buttons first. So in the components folder we created earlier, you're going to create a new component called button, then .gsx, and then you can do rfce inside here, and then inside this button component you're going to declare our button. So first we can, inside this, we can declare what we want. First, our icon can have our button can have an icon URL. It can also have a background color, because there will be buttons with background color and others without. So let's do background color, and then we're going to have also a text color, and then we can do border color, and then the last thing is full width, and also before this icon we can add a label which will be the title of the button. So we have those, and then now inside this, let's see, inside this return is where we are going to add our button. So I'm going to remove this first, and then I'm going to add this, and then I'm just going to do a basic button, and then inside this button I'm going to do a class name, and then inside this class name we want to do flex, and then justify to be center, and then item center, and then we can do a gap of 2, a padding x of 7, and then we can do a border on the button. We can do a font, this font, and then we can also add a text font size which will be large, and then we can do a leading of none on the button. And then now here below these stylings we want to check if our button has a background color. So we are going to add this and then check the background color. So if it has a background color, we are going to do background color, and then we are going also to do a text color, and then we're also going to do a border color like this, border color. Then let me see, where have I, oh, I'm supposed to close this text color like that, and then below this we want to check if it doesn't have those. We are going to do a bg coral of blue, and then you can do text white, and then you can also do a border of the same color, border this one. And then after these stylings for the button, We can also add others which the button will be rounded full, and then we can also say the full width, and want it to be width of full, like that. And then now inside this button we want now to declare our label, which will be label here, the text of the button, and then we can do an icon URL, and we are going to check if we have an icon URL on the button, which we can do this image, let's see img, and then first close that. And then the source will be icon URL, the icon URL, and then we can do an alt of, let's say, icon, and then we can do class name here, and the class names will be margin left of 2, rounded full, and then we can do a width of 5 and height of 5 for the icon. So by doing that, we now have the button which will now help us to create the hero page. So what we are going to do next is we are going to come to the hero, and then we can first import the button here. So import button, let me see, so we're going to import button from components, and then button, like that. And here now we are going to start creating the hero page. So let me remove this and add this, and inside here we want to have a section. In this section we'll give it an ID of home, so that every time the user clicks this home, it takes them to the home page. So I'm going to give it an ID of home, and then we can also add class names. So I'm going to start with a class name of width to be full, and then we can do flex, and then in extra large we want it to be flex row, and then we can do flex column if it's in medium devices, in mobile devices, and then justify to be center, and then a minimum height of screen, want it to take the whole screen, a minimum height of screen, like that. And then we can do a gap of 10, and then we can give it our max container, like that. And then now inside this section we want to have a div, and this div is going to be relative, so let's do relative. And then we can also add other classes, where in extra large devices we want it to take a width of 2 to 5 of the screen, and then we can do flex, and then flex column, justify to be center, and then we can also do items start, and then a width of full, and then maximum. In extra large devices we want to have a padding of x, and then you want to have a general padding top of 28, like that. So now you can see that actually you don't have the text, but if I come here and do hero, let's see hero, you can see it's taking the whole height of the screen. So let me remove this text, and now inside this div I want to add a p tag, and this p tag is going to have a all weather collection. So let me first write it here, so it's all weather collection, like that. We have that text here, and now we can add the class names. So let me add the class names. Class name, we want this to have a text of Excel, so text Excel, and then a font, going to use Montserrat for this, and then we can also do a color of blue, so it's going to be coral blue, and then we can do I think that one is better, yeah. And now below this p tag we want to have a h1, and this h1 is going to have a margin top of 10, to separate it from the all weather collections. And then we want to give it this font and then a text of 8XL like that, and then a max SM we want to have a text of 72 pixels like that. And then we want also in SM we want to have a leading of 82 pixels. So make sure you add them inside these brackets, and then we can do a font of bold like that. Then inside here you want to have, you can see that the text from the main website has this blue text here, and then you have this black text. So to do that, you're going to add a span here. So first we can do a span, and then you want this to have an extra large of BG of white. Actually, let me first remove this and then do span. Before we can do the BG, we can do relative. So let's say relative, and then we can now add the extra large. We want to have a BG of white. This is because, as you can see here in extra large devices, we have a background of white below this text. So let's now add the other styles, which will be in extra large devices. Also we want to have a white space of no wrap, and then we can do in large devices we want to have an index of 10, and then we can do a padding right of 10, so that the index will put the text on top of the image. And then now here we can do the most latest, and then after this the most latest, you can see we have this big text here. We can add a break after this span, and then below here we can add another span, which will be text coral then blue like that. And then inside here we can do Nike, and then let's add some classes. We want it to be inline block, and then a margin top of 3 like that. And after this Nike we can add a text which says shoes like that. And now you can see we have our big text here. So the next thing to add down here is the p tag, for this explore, that one. So here let's add a p tag, and then this is going to have a text slate, let's say gray like that. And then inside here we can also add a font. Let's do this font, and then we can do a font size of large, and then we can do a leading of 8, a margin top of 6, and then a margin bottom of 14. Also add maximum width of large to prevent the text from taking the whole width of the screen. So let me copy this text here, let me copy and then come and paste it here like that. If I come back here, you can see now we have the text appearing there. So now what you're going to do next is to add the button which says shop now. So below here we can add our button, and then this button is going to be self-closing. So it's going to be self-closing for this button, and then this button is going to have an icon, and this icon you're going to get it from the assets, which will be icons, the arrow right. So here we are going to have a label first, and the label is going to say shop now. So let's add the label. So it's going to be label and then shop now, and then we can also add an icon. So let's do an icon URL is equals to, and then arrow right like that. And now here this one is supposed to be a string, so let me just add it inside this like that. It should fix the error. So you have the button there. Let me refresh. Now we have this button here. So now the next thing is to add the statistics. So first we are going to import the statistics from the constant index page. So let's come here and import our statistics, which the statistics are this. So now we can map our statistics. So we are going to scroll down, and below the button, let's do this. We can add a div, and this div is going to be flex, like that. And then inside this div we can do justify stats, and then you can also do item stats, items start, flex wrap, flex wrap width of full, margin top of 20, and then a gap of 16 to separate the statistics from each other. And now here we can start mapping our statistics. We can do statistics and then dot map. Then we can do item inside here and also an index. Then here we can do a function, and then inside here we are going to have a div. And this div is going to be to have a key, going to be index. And then now we can add a p, and it's going to be text for Excel. And then we can add a font of bold, and then we can do this font here. Actually it's not this one, you can do font, and you can use this one. And then inside here we can do the item dot value, like that, and it's supposed to appear. You can see we have that text there. And then now below here we can add a p tag, and then give it a leading of 7, like that. And then a font, obvious, we can do, it's not a must to give them fonts the same font I'm using. You can use your own. Then you can give the text a color, and then inside here you want to do the label, the name of the statistic. So it's going to be item dot label, like that. So if I maximize this, you can see that we are halfway creating our this hero section. So what now we are going to create is the part for the images. So now here is going to be here, and then 2 divs down, so it's supposed to be here. We are going to add a div, and this div is going to be relative. So let's do a relative div, and then let me scroll down up to there. Yeah, and then we can also add other classes here. So flex one, and then flex justify center, item center, and then in Excel we want it to be a minimum height of screen, then max, and then Excel we want to do a padding y of 40, ABG gradient. We are not going to use a color, so we are going to use a gradient. So let's do BG gradient to bottom, and then we want it to be from blue 200 to slate, not to slate but to teal. We can do to teal 50, and let me maximize. We have that color there. You can use any color you want. So for us we can do that blue, and then inside this div we want to have the image. And the image, as you can see in the main application, we have a big shoe on top of it. We have this big shoe, and then we have the other shoes. So let's add the big shoe here, but first we are supposed to define the big shoe before adding it. So on top of here we are going to first import the big shoe, and the big shoe is going to come from the assets images. So let's import it, and then now here we can define the big shoe. So this one we're going to say const, and then the big shoe, and then here we can say set big shoe, is going to use state. It's going to use state, like that. Make sure you import it from React, and then the use state is going to be the image for the shoe, like that. And then now here below here we can come and do our big shoe there, like that. And then If I scroll down, you can see we have the actual image for the shoe, and then here we can do an alt of shoe, then add some class name for this image. We can do a width of 610, and then we can do a height of 500, and then we can do a class name. This class name is going to be object, then contain, and then we can also add a relative, and then an index of 10. So let's see. If I maximize this, we scroll up, we have this shoe here. Now what you're going to add next is the shoe card, for the other shoes. Actually, below this big shoe image, you're supposed to create a div which will hold the card. So first we can do a flex, and then not there, but below here we can do a flex div, and then inside this flex div we can do a gap in small devices, which is going to be a gap of 6, and then you can do absolute, can do minus bottom of 5%, like that, so that it is somehow down from the main image. And then we want to do in small devices, we want to have a left of 10%, so it's going to be a left of 10%, like that. And then you can also add a maximum small devices, you can do a padding x of 6, like that. Now inside this div we want to have our shoe card component, so we are going to do a shoe card here. So let's do shoe card, then like that. You're going to complain because you haven't created this shoe card yet, so you're going to open your components and then create a new component, which is going to be shoe card.jsx, and then do rafce, and then come back to the hero section and then scroll down, then try importing the shoe card, like that. The error is supposed to go away because now we have imported it, and then you can see we have this shoe card down here. So let me minimize this, and then actually come back. We have given the flex small gap of 6 and then a gap of 4, supposed to give a gap of 4 here, and then we can do absolute. Yeah, that one is better. So let me see, you have that shoe card there, this shoe card. So now we add data to the shoe card. So come back to the shoe card, and then we can do the same here, remove this, and then inside here we want first to check what our shoe card will have. Our shoe card will have one image, so inside here we can add the image. So it's going to be image URL, and then it's also going to change big shoe, like that. We can change the big shoe, and then we can do the big shoe, like that. And now we want to first add a handle click, which will change the images once clicked. So let's do const and then handle click, can do handle click, like that, and then it's going to be a function. So inside here we want to check if the big shoe is not equal to the img URL dot big shoe. We want to change the big shoe, so let's do this. Let's change big shoe, and then we want to do img URL dot big shoe, like that. Now inside this return statement we can add a div, and this div is going to have a class name. So let's do that. Then this class name can do a literal string, then border of 2, and then rounded XL, because the cards are going to be rounded. And then below here we want to check the big shoe, so let's do this, big shoe. Then you can do is equals to img url.bigshoe. If it's that, we want to do this. We want to give it a border color. So let's do border, then our color of blue, and then we can do this instead. So if it ain't, let's do a border of transparent. So let's do border transparent, like that. Shift Alt F to format, and then after this, you can add other classes, which will be cursor pointer, cursor to be pointer, and then we want to add a flex one here, like that. So inside this button, we're also going to do an on click, which will handle the click, like that. And then now inside here, we can now do the card. So inside this div, we're going to create another div, which is going to be flex, and then we want to do justify center. The items will be center. The items will be center. The BG, we want it to be gradient, but you can replace this with your own images. So it can be BG gradient to bottom, and then I want to be from red 100 to teal 100 to teal 100, like that. And then I think in small devices we can add a height of 40, and then you can do rounded, like that. And then inside this div, we are going to do the img, which will, the source is going to be the img url, and then dot thumbnail. I created these thumbnails from images, and then we want to do an alt of shoe, and then we can do a width of 127, a width of 127, and then a height of 103. Then you can do an object contain. First you do fill, then class name of object to be contain. But you can see that the app is complaining because we haven't yet defined what the shoe card is receiving. So we are going to come back to the hero section, and inside this hero section, this shoe card, we can add an index. So the index is going to be the index, and then the img url is going to be image, and then we want to change the big shoe, is going to be shoe. This is the handle click. We want it to set big shoe image, set big shoe to the shoe, and then let's see, we're getting errors. Let's first add big shoe down here, then big shoe is going to be the big shoe, like that. So we are getting errors here. It's because I've added extra presses. Let me remove one of them, so you can see now it's supposed to work. Let's refresh, and then let me see, inspect console. Then it's saying index is not defined in the hero section, but actually there's something we didn't do. Sorry for that. We didn't map we are supposed to map, and I think I forgot to do that. So here we want to first remove this, and then we are going to also import the shoes. So first, let me just return it here, and then I can comment it first, and then we can map the shoes from the constant. We already had the shoes, which are these shoes that are changing down here. So let's first import the shoes, like that, and then come below here, and then we want to do a div, not actually a div, but to map our shoes. So let's do shoes dot map, and then we want to map, can do the image, here, and then you can also do an index like that, and then we can do a div, and this div is going to be, it's not going to have a class name, but instead it's going to have a key. This key is going to be index. And then here I was using this, which one, this one's index. So let me scroll down, and then let me copy this here, and then come and paste them inside here, and then I can select them and then uncomment them like that. So if I now extend this, you can see we have these images down here, and if let's check if it works. So if I click the image, you can see it's changing the actual image for the big shoe up here like that. So we have finished creating the hero section. The next thing to do is to create the popular product section, which is this section. So let's do that. We're going to come to our, let's close this, then you're going to come to our popular products. Let's scroll down to where the popular products is, inside this one. So let's scroll down, popular products, and then inside here we want to do a div. So let's remove this, not a div, but we can do a div or a section, there's no problem. So let's first do a div, and this div is going to have our max container class name. So let's do max container like that, and then here we can do a maximum small of margin top of 12, and then we can also do an ID, and this ID is going to be product. So let's do products, and then inside this div we can do a flex div, and then flex column, and then we can also do justify start, and give a gap for the cards, and the gap is going to be 5. And then now inside here we can do a h2, and this h2 is going to have a class name, and this class name is going to be text. For Excel, we're giving it a font size, and then you can do this font, and then you can also do, let's see, we have this text here, and now here we are also going to do the same. We're going to create 2 spans. So we're going to create a span for this. The span is going to be for this product. So let's first copy this and then come and paste here, and then we can do a span, and the text is going to be the blue color like that, and then inside here we can do the products. So let's do products, our popular products, but we can also add some classes for this text blue, which is going to be, I think we can do font medium to make it like that. Let's come back, and you can see now we have the title. Below this title we are going to do a p tag, and this p tag is going to have a margin top of 2. So let's do margin top of 2, a font of Montserrat, and then in large devices we want it to have a maximum width of large to avoid it taking the whole width of the screen, and then we want to give it a color, text slate, and then we can do this gray color, and then that's it. So here we can add the actual text, and it's this one, explore. All these texts were generated by ChatGPT. You can also do the same. So let's come back here, and now you can see we have this text. Now below this p tag and below this div is where we are going to map our cards. So below here we are going to do a div, and it's going to have a margin top of 16, and it's going to be grid. In large devices the grid columns will be 4, so it's going to be grid calls 4. Let's do 4 here, and then in medium we want the grid columns to be 3, and then now in small devices we want to do grid columns of 2, grid column of 2, columns of 2, and then we can do grid calls of 2, and then I want to do a small gap of 4, and now we can do a general gap of 4. Actually, I don't think that changes anything. Anyway, now inside here we're going to map our products, and these products are going to come from the constant. We had the constant, the products defined in the constant. So I'm going to first copy this here. This is the products from the constant. You can see I have the it has the IMG, it has the name, and it has the price. So the price is in shillings. I'm from Kenya, so that's why the prices are in shillings, but you can use your own currency. You can use USD, so there's no problem. So inside here I want to map these products, and then you're going to do map. You're going to map a product, so it's going to be product. Then inside here we are going now to have a popular products card. So let me just do this. So it's going to be popular, then popular product card, like that. So we don't have this card yet, we are going to create it. So come to the components and create a popular product card. So let's do this, popular product card, and then .jsx, do RAFCE, then come back here to fix the error and import this, like that. Make sure you import that. And if I scroll down, you can see we have a popular product card here. We have 4 of them, and the more I change the screen resolution, you can see the cards are increasing. The grid columns are becoming 4, and actually I should do an XL here because I'm in an extra large screen. We can do XL. We want to do grid columns to be 5, like that. So come back to the popular products card, and inside this product card we are going to first remove this and do this. And inside here we are going to have a flex div, justify center, item center, and then flex one. We can do flex column, and then a width of full. Then you can also do a SM of width of full, like that. Inside this div we're going to have another div which is going to be the background for the image. It's going to be BG, and then gradient. It will be go to left, like that. And this is going to be from till 100 to slate 300 to slate 300, like that. And then we can also do around it. This is the background color. And then now inside this div we are going to have an IMG, and this IMG is going to have a source of the IMG URL. So let's do IMG URL, like that. You can say it's an image here. Then I'm getting an error, we will fix that. And then alt is going to be image, and then we can do a class name. We want the class name to be a width of 280 pixels, so make sure you put them in these brackets. So it's going to be 280 pixels, and then we want a height of the same, is going to be 280 pixels, like that. And then you can do an object contain, and also we do a fill here, like that. And then below this div we're going to have another div of margin top of 8. So let's do margin top of 8, and also flex column, and then justify start, and then a gap of, we can do gap of 2.5, or we can just do gap of any according to what you want. So you can also add another div here of flex, and then you can do item center, gap of 2, like that. And here we are going to have an img, and this img is going to have a source of star, and this star is coming from the icons, so we are going to import it. First, let's do a width, and this star is for the rating, so it's going to be width of 24 and then a height of 24. So let's import the star. The star is coming from the assets icons, so make sure you import it from the assets icons. So let's paste it here like that, and then below this image we want to have a p tag for the rating. So we want to do a flex, not a flex but the font size, which is going to be text XL, and then add a font, then you can do a leading of normal, and then you can do text to be slate gray like that. And then inside this you can do the rating. We can say it's 4.5, and then below this p tag, this div for the image, we're going to add a h3, which is going to take the name of the product. We can do a class name, and this class name is going to be margin top of 1, a text to excel, a leading of normal, a font of semi-bold. So let's do a font of semi-bold like that, and then we can also add a font to the name. So inside here we are going to do name, and below this h3 we can do a p tag. This p tag is going to be to have the price, but we are supposed to actually define this in the inside here. So let's first add class names for this. So let's do class name, and then the margin top will be 1. Can also do a font of semi-bold, and then you can do the font, a text color, which is going to be coral blue, and then you can also do the font size, which is going to be 2XL. Also add a leading of normal to give it a normal line height like that. And inside here we are going now to define the img URL, the name, and the price. So let's do that. So inside here we can add the img URL, so it's going to be img URL and then the name and then the price like that. And then if I scroll down, we have these cards for the image. So let me see, did I do a gap for them? Yeah, I added a gap. Let me scroll up. We have these 5 cards. Let's come back to the popular products. So let's come here, and then inside this popular products we're going to say the key is going to be the product.name. So let's do product.name. Then you can spread the product here. You can spread the products like that. So I don't know why I'm not getting the images. This img URL, the name, the price. I think let me first change the alt. We want the alt to, if there is no image, let's do the image name. And then in my constants, I think this one is capital. Let's do img URL, and then also change it up here. So let's do this and see if it will fix the issue. If I scroll down, you can see now I have cards for the shoes actually, and they look good. You can add more shoes or you can add more cards. So to make this one look better, because I don't have a lot of shoes, I can come and remove the Excel grid columns of 5 like that, and it's supposed to change that. That one looks better. So we have created the hero section in the popular products. So we are going to create the next 4 parts. Now we are going to create the quality, services, deals, and customer reviews, and then the subscribe part. So I'm going to come back to my VS Code, and then here we're going to close this and then close this. And then also close this, come to our pages section, and let me first collapse all of them like that. And now we are going to open the pages section and then go directly to the quality. Is it quality? Yeah. So we are going to create this quality section. So first I'm going to remove this, then add this, and then inside here we want to have a section, and this section is going to have a flex div like that, and then justify it to be between, and then we can also have item center, and then max LG of flex column, and then a gap of 10, width of full, and then a max container like that. I'm going to make this gap like that. And then now inside this section we want to have a div also, and this div is going to be flex and then flex 1, and then you can also do a flex column. Inside here we want to have a heading, and this heading is going to say discover. So let's just do a h2. We're going to give this a h2 of margin top of 10 because we want a spacing from the top. So let me scroll up to where that place is here. And then we also want to add more classes to this. We can add a font, so use this font, and then we can do text for Excel. We want it to be capitalized, so we can do capitalize, and then we want it to be max width of LG, so that the text does not take the whole width of the div. And then now inside here we want to have a span, and this span is also going to have in XL we want it to have a background of white. And then you can add more classes, which are, you want a white space. In extra large you don't want a white space, so it's going to be white space no wrap. And then you want to do relative, an index of 10, then you can also do a padding right of 10 like that. Inside this you want to do discover like that, and then also inside this discover we can do another span inside this span. So let's do this. Inside this span we can do a span and then give it this color, our blue color, which is coral blue, and then we want to do inline block and then a margin top of 3. Then you can do premium here like that, and then after this one we can do shoes. So we can do discover premium shoes. We can do no, we can remove these shoes here instead, and then we can add a span, another span below here. So let's break that span, and then we can do span, give it a color, text coral, and then blue like that. And then we can also do inline block, and then we can do margin top of 3. Then here we are going to say footwear instead of doing shoes like that. So discover premium footwear. Now below this h2 we can add a p tag, and this p tag is going to talk about the description. So let's do a margin top of 4, and then we also don't want it to take the whole width, so we can do in large devices maximum width of large, and then you can do info text. This is a class, name inside my CSS. So let me just paste it here. So I'll do this, the text, here it is. So you can see we have discover Nike's world of top tier sportswear. If I increase the screen you can see that it's not taking the whole width of the div. So let's come back, and then below this p tag we can also add another p tag, and this p tag is going to have a space from top of margin top of 6, and then we can do also a spacing. So let's do maximum width of large, and then also add the info text, which is a class name, and inside here we are going to add another text. So let me copy it, then paste it here like that. So you can see we have 2 paragraphs, and then now below here we can add another button. So we'll do a div below here, and then this div we want it to have a margin top of 11, and then inside here we can add the button like that. It's self-closing, and then we can add a label of view details. So let's do view details like that. So you can see we have this button here. Below this div, which is this one here, we can add another div, and then let's do flex, and then can also do flex 1, justify to be center, and then item center, items to be center like that, and then a bg gradient. I want this background to be from to right, that is, and then we can do from blue 200. I want it to come from blue 200, and then we want it to go to green, I think 100, and then we can do around it like that. So inside here I want to add an image, so let's do an image. The alt is going to be, let's do show, and then first we can add a width. The width we can do 570, then we can do a height of 522, and then we can do a class name of object contain like that. So this image is going to come from, we can just import it. So let's do this. I've saved it as shoe 8, so let me come here and import it. So let's do import shoe 8. Actually it won't work like that, so let me just import it. Import shoe 8 from images, I think it's assets, then images, and then shoe 8.jpg. I think it's jpg. Actually it's supposed to come from, I'm not supposed to declare it because I already exported the images in my index.js. Where is it? This one. We have already exported them, so let's see if we have this shoe 8. Let me refresh here. We have an error. Let me see which error is that. It's saying it does not provide an export named default. Let's see. Okay, let me close that, and then let me see. I think the error is coming from this shoe 8. Supposed to put it inside those, supposed to fix the error. Let's see. Yeah, like that. So now we have the premium section. So let me expand the screen. You can see we have this discover premium footwear, then we have view details. Let's see if it's the same with the initial one. You can see it's literally the same thing, discover premium footwear like that. So the next thing you're going to do is to create the services section. So let's come back here and then close this, and then also close the button, and then open the link it services. Yeah, it's services section. So here we want to just do a section, and this section is going to do max container like that. And then we can also add some classes, and these classes are going to be flex, justify, center, like that, and then flex wrap, and then a gap of 8, a gap of 9 instead. You can do a gap of 9 or a gap of 8, it doesn't matter. And then here we have the services. I had added the services in the constant, so let's first import the services from the constants. We had the services in the constants, so let's import them. So let's do import services, supposed to add it here, services, import services from constants, like that. And then now here we want to map the services, but before we map the services, you are supposed to come to the components and then create a services component which is going to map all our services. So inside here we can do service card, let's do service card. It's going to be service card .jsx, like that, and then rafce. And then inside here we can just do, let's remove this, inside here we can do a flex one, like that. Also do in small devices, we want the width to be at least 350 pixels, and then small devices we want a minimum width of 300, and I think that's the same thing as minimum width of, yeah, we can do a width of full, then we can do rounded, and then this rounded we want it to be just 20 pixels, like that. A shadow, and then a padding, so we can do a shadow of 3xl, padding x of 10, and then a padding y of 16, like that. Then inside this div we can also add another div for the image, so it's going to have a width of 11, and then we can also do a height of 11, and then we can do flex, justify to be center, items to be center, item center, abg, background color of the blue color, so let's do coral blue, and then we can do rounded full, and then now inside here we can do the image. The src will import it. No, the src is going to be the img url, because we are going to map the services in our services. Then the alt is going to be the label of the image, the label of the service that is, and then a width we can do a 24, and because we want it's an icon, we can do also a height of the same, which is 24, like that. And then first we can come and declare them here. We can do img url. We are also going to pass in the label, which is the text, and then we can also do the subtext, like that. Now below this image div we can do a h3, which is going to take the label, which is the title. We can do a spacing top, which is margin top of 5, class name margin top of 5, and then we can give it a font. We can do a text of 3xl, and then we can do leading of normal, and then add it a font of bold, like that. Inside here we can pass in the label, like that. And then below this h3 is where we are going to do the p for the subtext, so a gap which is margin top of 3. Then you can do a break of words, can give a font. We're going to do Montserrat, and then a text large, a leading of normal, and then text slate gray, this one. And then inside here we can pass in the subtext. Now we have created the services card, so let's close that, and then here we come back to the services, and now we can map our services in our shoe card. So let's do this. Services, then dot map, can map a service like that, and then inside here we can import our service card. Service card. I don't have the import suggestion. I have created a service card. Let me just import it. So import service card from components service card. So let's import the service card. Then you can see we have these icons. Then inside here we can do key to be service.label, and then we spread the service here. So let's do service like that, and then let me refresh this. We have that there. We have the services cards. So let me maximize. You can see we have the services section. So let's come back, and now we have finished the services section. Let's do the deals section. So this is the section for the offers. So let's come to the deals. Where is it? Deals. Here it is. And then inside here we can do a section also. So let me first remove this. Inside here we can do a section, and it's going to be flex like that, justified to be between. We can also do item center, and then a maximum XL, let's max XL. We want to do a flex to be column, which is going to be reverse, a gap of 10, and then a max container, like that. Inside this section we can do a flex one div, and then inside here we want to have the image. So let's just do the image. The alt is going to be, let's say, deals, and then we can do a width. You can do this width, you can add that width, and then you can do a height, which is going to be 687. We can do object contain. So let's do object contain, and then we can do a width of full like that. Now let's import the image. The image is coming from, it's actually offer, and is going to come from the assets images. So let me import it here like that. So it's supposed to get the image, and here it is. And now we can start mapping the text for the description about the offer. So below this image div we can add another div, and it's also going to be flex. Also do a flex one, and then what else? We can do flex column like that. Inside here we do a h2. This h2 is going to be to have a bigger font, so let's do text to be 4XL. I think that's better. And then you can do also a font, so let's do font bold, and then also a font, so let's use this. Then inside this h2 we can do deals, but first we can do a span. So this span is going to be just a blue color, So let's do coral blue, and then we can do exclusive. Then outside this one we can do deals, like that. So we should have the text here. We have it, exclusive deals. So below this h2 we want to do a p tag, give it a margin top of 4, also add the info text class name, and then this p tag is going to be, let me paste it. So let me come and paste it here. You can get this from ChatGPT, so like that. And then we can also add it down here, and then change the text. So let's change the text to be like that. So we have these two texts. Now we want to have two buttons. Below this p tag we can add a div, and this div is going to have a margin top of, let's say 11, and then we can also do flex wrap, like that, and then we can do a gap of 4. Inside this div we want to add our button, so let me do the button here, the button, and then we want to add a label. Let's do a label. This label is going to be shop now. Let's do shop now, like that. And then we can do an icon URL. Is going to be arrow right. So let's do arrow right arrow, and then you're supposed to actually import this arrow, and it's coming from our images icons, so import it there. And then below this button we can do, let me refresh, I actually didn't import the image, the button, that is. I don't know why it's not importing for me. I just import it. So let's do button from components, and then button, like that. And then if I scroll down, you can see we have this shop now button here. We can add another button. So below this button we can do another button, and this button is going to have a label. The label is going to be learn more, and then we can do a background color. This one is not going to have a background, it's going to have a background color different from the other one. So let's do this background color, no, not actually inside there but here. So let's do a background color, and this background color is going to be a background color of white. It's also going to have a border color, so let's do border color, which is going to be border slate gray. So let's do border slate and then gray, and then we can add another one, which is the text color, which is also going to be text slate gray. So let's do text slate and then gray, like that. So let me expand this section. Let's see how it looks like. You can see we have the image, and then you have the exclusive deals. Let me come back here. You actually have it there, but it's not the same thing. I think I've defined a class name wrongly. This one, max container. Let me come back. Then we are supposed to have this, so you can see they're the same. Yeah. So the next thing we are going to do is the customer reviews and the subscribe part. So let's go back here and then close the deal section, open we are doing the customer reviews. So let's remove this, and then inside here we can do a section, and this section is only going to have the max container, like that. And then we can start by doing a h3, which is going to have a text for Excel. So let's do for Excel, and then we can add a font of bold here, and then we can do palanquin and then text to be center, like that. This h3 is going to say what our customers say. So let's do what our, and then we can do a span which is going to be blue. So let's do text blue, not text blue, text coral blue. It's going to say customers, and then after this span we can do what our customers say, add a question mark, and then I don't know why. Let me expand it. I'm supposed to do a break, so let's do a break here and see how that one looks like. So what our, not actually there, not there, but here, or we can just add some spacing, no problem. So it's this L, wait, we can add a space which is going to be NBSP, like that, yeah, and then go and copy this, add it here. So let me expand. You have what our customers say, and then below this, then also do it the same here. So below this h3 we want to have a paragraph text, and this p text is going to do margin auto. So let's do margin auto, like that. Also do margin top of 4, and then do a maximum width of large, text center, and then N4 text. And then inside this paragraph we're going to have this text which is going to say here genuine stories from our satisfied customers, and then now below this p tag we want to map the images of those who have reviewed our website and their comments. So let's do margin top of 4, margin top of 24, that is. Inside here we can do flex 1. Let's justify it not between but evenly, items to be center, and then in large devices we can do flex column, not like in large devices, but let's add a gap of 14. So inside this div we want to do our reviews, but these reviews are going to come from our constants. But before we map our constants, let's import them here. Our reviews, that is, we want to create a, what is it called, a review card, which is for the customer reviews. So come to the components and then create a review card. So let's do review card.jsx, do array_fce, and then inside here the only thing we're going to do, because our reviews are going to have a star rating, we can import the star there, and then remove this, and inside here we can do a flex div, then we can justify center, then we can do items to be center. The next thing we can do here is to do a flex of column. Inside this div we can do an image, but before we do that we can come and define them here. First we're going to do an img URL. We can also do a customer name. All of these are coming from the reviews part in our constants. Let's do rating, rating, and then the comment, which is the feedback of our satisfied customers. Then inside this image we can do the source to be img URL. So let's do img URL. This one is going to, let's say, customer, and then add some classes. So let's do class name, rounded to be full because we want the images of the customers to be in a circle. Object to be cover, object to be object to be cover, and then a width of 120 pixels, and then let's say a height of 120 pixels, like that. Below this image we can do a p tag, give it a margin top of 6, and then maximum width to be small, text center, and then info text. And then inside this p tag is where we're going to have our feedback. And then below this p tag we're going to do another div which is going to have the rating star. So let's do margin top of 3, and then flex, justify to be center, items to be center, and then a gap. We can do a gap of 2.5, like that. Inside this div do an image. This one is going to be the star. I added the star there, so let's do star also. And then we can do a width of 24, a width of 24, also a height of 24, and then we can do an object contain. So let's do class name of object contain, and then we don't want a margin, so let's do margin of 0. Below this star we're going to have a p text which is going to include the rating. So let's do a p which is going to do text to be Excel, give it a font of Montserrat, and then give it a color also. So let's do text slate to be gray, like that. Inside this now is where we are going to add our rating, like that. I don't think we also need something else, which is the name of the person giving out the review. So let's do a h3 and give it a margin top of 1. Add a font which is Palanquin, a text of 3XL, and then text center, and then a font, let's do bold, like that. Inside this is where we're going to have the customer name, like that. And then I think the review card is complete. Now let's go back to our, what is it called, our reviews section. So let's come to the customer reviews, and now inside this div is where we're going to map our reviews. So let's do reviews, and then we want to map, we can map an index and a review inside here, and then here we can do review card, a review. I added an extension which is preventing the imports, but I'm going to remove it. So let's do review card. It's going to come from components, and then review card, like that. This review card is going to expect, let's see if we have something. We have the stars there, we have the customer. So this review card is going to have a key of index. So let's first add the key to be index, and then add an img URL. So it's going to be img URL is going to have the review, and then dot img URL, like that. And then we can do the customer name. The customer name, let me scroll down. First let me add the customer name, is also going to be review.customer name, like that. Let's see if we have those appearing. Not yet. Let's add the rating. to be review.rating like that, and then we can do feedback. The feedback is going to be review.feedback like that. So you have the review and then you have the index. Let me refresh. You're supposed to get them. Index. Let me see. Now we have those. We have the images of the reviewers, we have their feedback, and then you have the name, and then you have the review. So let me expand it. You can see it's appearing here. So the only thing we are left with is the subscribe button, which is the subscribe to the news or the latest updates. So let's remove this. This is not going to be something big, so the only thing we're going to add here is an input field for the email. So let's do a section, and this section is going to have a flex like that. Do justify between, justify to be between, and then items to be center. Do maximum excel, not actually maximum excel, of flex to be column but reverse, and then you can do a gap of 10, then add a max container like that. Inside this section, let's do first a div for the image, not image actually, but let me see. We are doing the subscribe. We have actually done the, let's see, section class name. Oh, we are doing the subscribe. Let me remove this. I was recreating the subscribe, the review part, but it's almost the same. So let's do a max container first. Max container like that. Add a flex, justify to be between, items to be center. Also add a max lg of flex column like that. Add a gap of 10. So come inside here, and then we are supposed to add, but we'll add that later. Let's first finish this. H3 of text for Excel, and then we want it to have a leading, and this leading is going to be, let's do 68 pixels maybe, but you can use the values which are there. And then we want to do a maximum width of medium. Also do a font. You can do Palanquin and then make it bold, font of bold like that. Inside this H3 we are going to do sign up for, add a span here, span of blue, coral blue. This span is going to be updates, and then outside this span we can do end newsletter. Let's see if we have it. Sign up for updates and newsletter, but I don't know why this span is not, but you can do gap. Let's do gap of 2, gap of 1, 2. So be forced to add a space. Let's just add the space in BSP, and then do an NBSP to add a space there. Below this H3, add another div. So this div is going to be width of full first, and then what else? We can do an item center, but before we do that, let's do flex items to be center do maximum width of 40%. So let's do maximum width of 40%, and then do what? Max SM to be a flex column, a gap of 5. We can do a padding, right? Padding of 2.5, and then we want a border for it, and this border is going to be slate gray SM border. We should first add the SM to be border like that, and then we can also add some classes which will be only rounded full like that. Inside this div, let's do an input, and this is going to be input. The input is going to be email like that. Inside this, I can delete this because I actually don't need them. We can do a placeholder which is going to say subscribe at nike.com. That's better. And then we can also do a class name. I have an input class name, a class of input. Let's add it there. And then below here we can add a button. So let's do flex, and then items to be center. Also do maximum SM to be justify end, and then maximum SM to be with the full. Add our button here, so let's do button, and then this button is going to be labeled to be let's say subscribe or sign up, subscribe like that, and then let's do full width for that. Full width, it's actually supposed to be full width. Come and import the button here, so let's do import button from components, and then button like that. So if I scroll down, you can see we have the button here, and then you have the input. So if I maximize the app, you can see that you have successfully finished creating the Nike website. But one thing I've noticed, we have these are working, right? So you have the home, which is also the about us section, I think so. Or did we have other section? Let me see. Have the home, I have the about us. Oh, that is the about us section. So we have the products, contact us, sign in or register. So I think there's something we haven't added, and that is the ID. So in the subscribe, we can come here and do, is it here? Yeah, we can come inside here and do ID, which is going to be contact us. So that when we click the contact us, it scrolls us down to the, yeah, that's better. Products, we have it. About us, now we have to add the about us. So let's come here to the, where was it? Quality, I think, not the quality. Yeah, it's the quality. Let's add an ID of about us like that. So let me, you can see we have it. So the home is, the about us is working, products, contact us, home is working properly. So that brings us to the end of this video, which is creating a Nike clone website. So you can follow this video to create your own website like this. So let's meet in the next video where we'll be creating other videos like this. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and then you can also send your design on the comment section, or send it through my email so that I can create it in the next video. Yeah, so let's meet in the next video. Be safe. Bye.